you for being here tonight. Hope you don't mind. We are going to record this meeting. So if you don't want your face being shown, you can feel free to hide your camera. But we always love it when we can see faces. I love when people share their camera. I understand if you're in the washroom right now, if you're wearing your pajamas, then feel free to keep yourself off the screen. Tonight, I'm really excited. For those that don't know me, first of all, my name is Jamie Prickett. I am the co-founder and CEO of Experior. My wife and I founded this great organization 7 years ago and have managed to partner with and find lots of great people to work with. I think one of the best things about our business is truly the people. I love the people I get to work with each and every day. But to start off tonight's first part of the presentation, I'm super jacked up, and I don't know if he's going to be nervous about this or not, but he's been in the industry for a number of years, but he joined Experior. He's from the United States of America, Chicago, and he joined Experior about 3 or 4 months ago, or maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and he's already become a sales manager within the organization. And tonight, Erick Mendoza, just so you know, you're going down in history as the first sales manager to present on our main stage for this career presentation. No pressure, but my man, I already watched you do it in Spanish, and I didn't understand a word, but I know it was awesome because I feel so I'm really excited to have you here on the English version and to share with us tonight a bit more about Experior. Erick, before we get started, you have the presentation on your laptop to share, correct? Awesome, my man. Without further ado, if you guys can give a nice warm welcome to the man of the first half hour, Erick Mendoza.
Woohoo! All right, Erick.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Jamie. It's an honor, right? As you said, going down in history as the first sales manager to do this presentation. It actually makes it a lot easier for me because as I mentioned when I met you, Jamie, Spanish is not my first language. So it's going to make it a little bit more comfortable for me to talk to you guys and present this for you guys. And for everybody that's listening for this to the first time, I want you to actually give a shout out to the person that invited you. Why? Because a lot of the times opportunities don't hit twice at your door. And if they thought about you, if they invited you to this presentation, if they told you, hey, you have to listen, this changed my life, it's because they're thinking about you and they're actually thinking about wanting to help you and making you grow. So just do a little thank you saying, hey, you know what? I appreciate you inviting me to this presentation. Number two is actually give yourself the opportunity. Because a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I'm just doing it because they forced me, or they said, yes, let me just join you there just to support you. But I want you to actually stick through it towards the end, because if you're going to give yourself an opportunity, I want you to give yourself a fair shot. I want you to open your eyes, open your minds, open your ears, that the information that we're going to present to you today is actually going to be something that might be that life changer, might be that lifeline you were looking for, might be that opportunity that you were always fighting for, you were always looking to have. And if you're here listening today, just stop doing what you're doing. Like I know Jamie said, you're probably doing other things while you're listening, but give yourself a fair shot to actually understand what we're about, what we're experiencing about, what we're trying to present to you, right? So I'm going to start sharing my screen to give you a little bit of presentation, to give you a background of Experior, a little bit about myself. I'm actually in Chicago, Illinois. First person out here from Experior to be in Illinois. It's been an honor for me to be able to open up this market, open up the state, to be able to help out people as well. So let me get this started for you guys. All right. Technology sometimes gives us a little bit of a hassle. There we go. So what are we going to be covering today, right? So just wanted to let you guys know a little bit of our agenda, what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about who we are, today's world, what we're actually living through right now, all the changes that are happening, what we do as a company, what Experior is all about, our process, and the Experior world. We're going to get to know why we're so excited. You're going to get to know why that person that said, hey, I want you to listen to this, is the reason why they're so excited every time they talk to you about it. So we're going to get to talk about these topics so that you know exactly what we're going forward with, right? So who are we? If you look at this picture, and if you've already been a successful person, or you know how it is to be to the top, you know you didn't get there by yourself. And that's what we are about here in Xperia, right? We made it here because we're supporting each other. So a lot of people out there are struggling. They're struggling to complete their dreams. They're struggling to complete their goals. And sometimes we don't know how to do it because we don't have a team to back us up. Here at Xperia, we're all a family. We're gonna help you. If we already made it to the top, if we already made it successful, we want that same opportunity to be everybody that comes in here. So have that in mind, right? That you're gonna have a team of people to work with. You're gonna have a family that's gonna back you up in every of the decisions that you're making. And that's the reason why we chose this picture, in order to be able to show you that you're gonna make it with us. It's a chain. It's something that we don't want it to break. We're never gonna leave you behind. And at the same time, we don't leave any family behind. We always want to make what's right for them and give them the best opportunities. So we're an IMO, right, which is an insurance marketing organization. Well, we were founded in Canada. Wow, that's actually amazing. And the reason why I say that is because most of the IMOs, they usually start in the United States and head out to Canada. But Jamie and his wife had the opportunity to be able to create this in Canada and grow into the United States. Over 14 licensed agents and growing every day. Is the first Canadian-born IMO to open head office and expand into the United States. And it's a privilege for us to be able to represent this company, to give the best image that we can. And our head office in the United States is actually in New York. So if you're listening and you're from New York, you can head out and visit our office, get to know our facilities, and we're just keep growing this at a fast pace. We're trying to open up offices in every single state, every single city that we could possibly do it. So a little bit of a background about our founders, right? So Jamie and Leanne Prickett, the husband and wife team, spent a combined 16 years in the insurance industry in a recruiting-focused organization. In that time, they realized struggled to make ends meet and even considered leaving the industry altogether. So how many of you can identify that you probably got paid either today or you're getting paid tomorrow, and you're catching up with bills from like two weeks ago or from last month, or you're still trying to catch up and living day by day? So they know the struggle, right? They already knew what it is to suffer in that aspect. So looking back, they're thankful that life doesn't always go as planned. A lot of us actually growing up, if you think about it, are you making the career that you thought you were gonna be when you were a little kid? Are you that doctor that you imagined that you were gonna be? Are you that nurse? Are you that lawyer? Is that something that you were planning? Or are you unhappy where you're at? Things sometimes don't go as the way we plan, but sometimes opportunities present themselves. So Jamie and his wife had that vision. They said, okay, maybe it wasn't our mind to be in the IMO that they were in the industry that they were in. So they went outside the box and thought about a different idea on how to present this so that it's beneficial not only to them, but for everybody that they present this opportunity to. So Xperia was born from that. Two minds thinking, having ideas. Normally that's how companies start, right? That you're just sitting down watching TV, or you're eating dinner, or you're having food with friends and family. And from that, whereas Xperia actually was born. So when exactly? January 22nd, 2014, just 2 years after they left their former company, they launched Xperia with the first tri-brid model ever. They created a better way to do business by taking the very best from the three traditional industry models and combining them into one. Since that time, Xperia has become the fastest growing IMO in Canada and is now building this success in the US. So what do we mean by tri-brid, right? So the people that might have a little bit of experience in this financial and insurance business, normally you have the option that you're gonna be either a captive agent, you're gonna either work independently, or that you work in network marketing. So we got the best of all the worlds and put it together. We got the best ideas of how we're going to do this. How are we going to help find the better of it? So I don't say that it's a new IMO. I said it's an involved one. It has the best of the worlds. It has the best to survive all the constant changes that are happening out there in these moments. So what's our mission statement? What do we stand for? What do we want to do with families, right? Building financial foundations for families to empower them today and leave a legacy for tomorrow. We don't only want you to be okay now. We don't only want you to have a success today. We want you to be able to pass this on to future generations, to be able to help out others, to be able to your grandkids, your future grandkids, your not only your sons or your immediate kids, right? That a whole generation is going to have a legacy that they said, you know what, I'm just gonna pull a couple names out here. Julie, you worked so hard because you wanted to leave a legacy behind. So that's our mission. We want to be able to change that, not only for today, but to leave it for generations going on. So a little bit of the timeline of how Xperia has been evolving, right? So 2014 was when it was founded. 2015, they surpassed 200 licensed agents in Ontario. By 2016, we already acquired 3 brokerages. So in a matter of 1 year, we already have 200 agents, right, from the beginning of it. 2017, we featured in the Insurance Journal. That's a big thing to be able to and be recognized in this type of magazines, right? And then 2018, we expanded to all the provinces of Canada. So here they went back then in 2014 and said, we want to grow. We want to continue growing. In a matter of 4 years, they already expanded across the whole Canada. 2019 became the first Canadian insurance brokerage to expand operations into the United States. 2020, we already have, in 2020, we already surpassed 1,300 licensed agents. And now in 2021, there's actually more than 18 states in the US and growing. We want to keep expanding. We want to reach all 50 states, right? And that being said, I want to take a minute and look at this map right here. Check if your state is here. Check if your name is on the list, right? Where you're at, where you're connected from today. If it's not, nothing stops you from being that first agency. Nothing stops you from being that first person to open up one of the offices of Xperia in the state that you're locating. So my goal personally, right? I'm currently in about 8 of these states right now. I'm actually planning to try to be here by 2022 in all 50 states. That's my goal, trying to help out a family in every single state of the United States. And why not Canada? We have the opportunity to help out as well in that aspect. So that's how big I want you to picture. Not that you're only going to help your local community, not that you're only going to help your neighbors, your family, that you have the opportunity to change everybody's lives across the whole United States. So today's world, like Jamie said, some of you might have your cameras off because you might be looking like the person in the picture right now. You might be very formal from the top, but the bottom, because that's normal. That's what's going on nowadays, right? We have a lot of Zoom meetings. Your kids, you just put on a good, nice shirt with them, but they still have their pajama pants on the bottom of it. That's something that's happening normal. It's becoming a new normal. So we got to learn how to adapt to those, right? Those changes, those lifestyles and everything. Because if you don't, you might be left behind and it might make it harder for you to adapt. So how was the pandemic affecting you, right? Because it's impacted everybody. Nobody can say, no, it's not affecting. How were you ready? Did you prepare for it? Was that something that was that you said, you know what, this didn't affect me because I had a bulletproof strategy when none of this affected me? It affected a lot of people in different ways. First of it, emotionally. You might have had a loss. You might have had somebody that got really sick. You might have had a scare. Socially, how many times did you have to cancel a reunion because one of the members of the family or friends was exposed to the virus, right? They were exposed to it, or you simply wanted to protect your own family members and you couldn't get gatherings anymore. You couldn't go to Thanksgiving dinners. You couldn't go to Christmas celebration. And then also financially, you might have lost your job. You might have got hours reduced. The company that you were working for went completely bankrupt. We're unemployed for a good long amount of time. So we want to be able to give you that opportunity that if there's a next crisis, or correct myself, when there's a next crisis, because it's always every 8 to 12 years statistically that we're going to have a major crisis, right? Are you ready for the next one? Or you want to be ready for the next crisis that happens? So a lot of the concerns that people feel, how many of you can identify to this guy in the pictures? Credit card debt, investment, taxes, your kids' education, you're concerned about it, you know you're going to be able to pay for them. You don't understand your 401k, you know it's a benefit at the job that you're in. And you are just living day by day, not knowing if your budget's going to line up, if your numbers are going to be in green, if your numbers are going to be in red. That's something that's a constant struggle throughout nowadays. So we simplified the complicated by empowering families with education, because the biggest loss that you can have, the lack of financial knowledge, would cost you a lot in the long run. So we want to be able to empower you so that you can make better informed decisions. And how do we do that, right? We simplify the complicated. Give you a little bit of example. in the life insurance world, how many people have you identified out there, right? That if you were to pass away suddenly, would you want your family's lifestyle to be worse, stay the same, or get better? I doubt that even the people that say, no, I don't like my family, want that family to be worse. That's not true. Like that's just something in the moment, those feelings, right? But we always want to wish something better for them. But a lot of people resort to GoFundMe. A lot of people are saying, you know what, I don't have money for my family. Can you help me, whether it's for the final expenses, for something at the end? Or would you want to rather take that control, that instead of leaving your family with an emotional loss, that you're also leaving them with a financial loss? Or do you just want them to be able to breathe in peace and suffer your loss emotionally, but not economically? So that's when we educate people, right, about life insurance policy and how that works. But how are we different? Because a lot of people out there, they sell insurance, right? They're all about the big names. I'm not going to give promotion to any of these companies, but you will all know radios, either TV commercials or anything. But we're experienced recognize that not all life insurance companies are created equal. We have brokers and not agents. Why should this matter to you? Why should it care? It makes a big difference, and I'll explain to you why. Because we have so many of the top insurers in the U.S. A lot of these companies, Forrester Financial, Mutual of Omaha, FNG, Global Atlantic, National Life Group, Transamerica, right, AIG. These are known companies that are out there, and you have the power of choice. You have the power of saying, you know what, let me see which one of these is going to give you the best opportunity. Because not a lot of people out there can say, yeah, I'm going to give you the best product if they can only represent one company. How do you know that is the best product, right? So the power of choice and the power of being able to diversify your solution is going to be very important. So here's a little example, right? If you go to your local insurance company, you go to a direct company, with us, you're going to have a variety of different options. So example here, $1 million coverage for 20-year term, 35-year-old female non-smoker. You can pay as low as $46.91 up to $61.28. What varies in the difference? Some of them give you more benefits. Some of them give you added services that are in there. You choose at the end what you want to do, or you go directly to them, and then they're roughly going to give you an average about $89.69 a month. That's about $1,025 a year. Which of those two you're going to be able to do? You go with us and you go with AIG, right? That's a savings of $42.78 a month. That's $10,267 that you'll be saving over 20 years. If you find a way to invest that at an 8% rate of return, that's about $25,000 that you have more in your pocket. And it's all about knowing what to do with it, right? Because a lot of people just say, oh yeah, you can just save your money here, but they don't tell you what to do with the extra. And when you don't know what to do with the extra, you're gonna just spend it on something else that you don't know how you can make that money to work for you. So we're gonna give you an example of an average debt situation with the families out here, right? So how many of you can identify here? So what are we gonna be talking about here? We have a credit card, a MasterCard for about $12,000, your Toyota Camry, your car, a mortgage, a couple of other credit cards, a total debt of $422,000, right? Minimum payments is $3,215. You're paying a little bit extra to try to get rid of that debt faster, so you're paying about $3,525. That's about 243 monthly payments. In interest, you're paying about $159,810. So why should this matter, right? A lot of people saying, oh yeah, this is normal, Eric, you know, a 30-year house payment, this is what we need to make payments on that. It's a debt for about 20 years and 3 months. That's how long it's gonna take you to become financially free. So let's throw this out, right? Why? Do you know when your current debt freedom date is? Have you looked at your debt? Have you taken a chance to actually find out and figure out what that number, when is that day you're gonna celebrate and say, I'm debt free? I don't have anything to worry about. I don't have a monthly payment that I need to worry about. So we're here to help you understand that, right? We have something called the snowball plan, where same amount debt that you had, where we teach you how to lower the amount of payments by putting a little bit more, right? There's a strategy to simplify it by attacking the smaller debts first, by concentrating on getting rid of those debts and concentrating on the bigger debt at the end. So if you do this type of strategy, you sit down and talk to the person, right, that can help you out. you're lowering that to 151 payments. So that's 107,000 of interest that you're going to be paying. So we do a before and after picture, right? Without Experior, if you're going to continue with the same plan that you had, you're going to have to pay 159,000 in interest. With Experior and putting a plan in place, you're going to have 107,000. So the difference between those two, you're looking at $52,000 that you're saving, debt-free, right? But this is the more impactful and more powerful part. You're actually recovering 7 years and 8 months of your time. Now it's not 20 years. You're paying that a lot sooner. So now you're going to have more time, less stress in your life, which is very important nowadays. You don't want to be stressed out, right? So you have that opportunity by just simplifying your strategy and getting rid of your smaller debts first. You'll be able to get rid of your debt in a faster moment, right? And who doesn't want to pay your debt a lot faster than the opportunity you have right now? And the easiest part of this is just a strategy. So guess what? You don't pay for it. It's just something that we're teaching you how to do to control your own budget. So we're going to show you a little bit of education, right, before we explain to you about experience. So the rule of 72, that's a lot of people also know that by the compound interest. So I'm going to simplify it to you a little bit more and explain how it works. So if you want to know how long it's going to take for your money to double, if you have like $5,000 and you want to know how long it's going to take for double, you grab the number 72, you divide it by the rate of return that the company's offering you, and that's the amount of time that it's going to take. So let's say a 29-year-old has $5,000 to invest. Banks offer them 2% return. When you're 29, it's going to wait until you turn 65 for that money to double. But if you can find somewhere else that gives you a 4%, that same $5,000 by the time that you're 65 is going to be $20,000. But you find even a bigger rate of return, which is 8%, same 5,000 is going to actually get you 80,000 by the time that you're 65. So why should this matter to you? Because you should know that there are options out there for you. You should know that this is available for everybody. It's not like it's hiding. It's not like it's just a matter of what I like to say. One of the sayings that somebody told me is that if you want to keep a secret, put it in a book. So not a lot of companies are out there, or not a lot of schools are out there teaching you how to manage your money. So if you're not looking for it, then you won't find the answer. And that's why I'm here in Experior, because I want to make that change. I want to make that impact in people's lives and give them the same opportunity that was given to me to be able to control their finances and control their money. Another example here, how a compound interest works. If you do a monthly investment starting at the age of 35, same idea with the rate of return of 2%, by the time you retire, you're looking that you have an ending balance of about $49,000. Andrea, she looked at another option and got a 4%, right? Same amount of contribution monthly. She's looking at about an ending balance of $69,000. And Amy got a rate of return of 8%, same amount of money, right? Same amount of time, gets a investment back of $150,000. So this is where I'm saying, right, that if you don't have the knowledge, you don't have nobody teaching you, you could have lost out of $100,000 because you were excited that the bank offered you a 2% rate of return. And that's where I want you to grow your conscience, grow your ideas of that there are a lot of options out there. And why is this important? Because most people are not prepared for retirement. You might be young listening to this conversation right now and say, oh, I got a lot of time to be able to save. But look at the stats. 74% retire with less than $100,000 of retirement. That's a lot of people. Even 26% have less than $1,000 right now. So I don't like to demeanor any type of work line. I don't like to demeanor any type of jobs, right? But how many times have you gone into like a Walmart or a McDonald's and you have an elderly person greeting you at the door? It's not because they want to. It's because they have to continue working to be able to sustain themselves. They couldn't retire with the amount of money that they saved by that time. So it's not late for you, whether you're still young or you're a person that is very close to retirement. It's just the amount of the type of strategy that's going to be different for each one of those people. So only about 14% have over 250,000. Even that, I say, is not enough money to retire. So why does these happen? Why does people are not retiring with the same amount of money? Why are people losing money, not getting the right amount of interest? And the big three reasons why of it is because, one, they might not have the education, not because they didn't go to school, but because the school didn't provide it to them. They might not have a plan in action, so they probably went to school, they probably taught them, but they never put a plan in place. or they simply don't have a coach or mentor or somebody guiding them on how to help them with that money to be able to help them out, right? So just wanted to give you a little bit of background, right, of the education part of Experior. Right now, I have the great honor to introduce our CEO, co-founder and CEO, Jamie Prickett. I'm very excited to have been able to open up this meeting for you guys, because when I met with him, he definitely changed my life. As he mentioned, we met about 3 months ago. I got on board almost right away. And since I've done it, I don't regret it. And again, just listen to him. He speaks with his heart. He speaks with his mind. Hopefully that same impact he gave you, he gave me, it passes on to you as well. So Jamie, I give you the controls. Take it on from here.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Amazing job, man. And I know you do it great in Spanish as well, but English, you knocked it out of the park, brother. Thanks so much. I'm going to cut my part a little bit short tonight because I want to share some really cool stuff with you guys. I believe you, the part that we normally go into after this is just imagining the peace of mind, right? Imagining the peace of mind that a family would receive, putting together a plan like this to help them get all their ducks in a row. But I'm going to skip through that part. I hope that Erick did I know that Erick did a good enough job of explaining to you the value of what we do. So I actually want to jump right into Experior's world for a second. I want to bring you into my world. So welcome to my world that I call the Experior world. And if you guys don't know who this is with me, I had hair. I had to shave it off. I gave up. My hair is receding. I'm going bald in the back. So I said, screw this. So I shaved my head off last week. But this is Vanilla Ice. I don't know if you guys know the Iceman, Ice Baby. We actually had him down for a convention last January, right before the big pandemic hit. We had 800 people at the Hamilton Convention Center just outside of Toronto. And man, he just blew the roof off. I was able to do an interview with him on stage. My mom and dad were there. It was so cool. It was just such an awesome experience because my parents remember me when I was like 11, 12, 13 years old when Vanilla Ice was really popular. And I was like dancing and memorizing all the words to Ice Ice Baby and all the other songs. But it was quite the experience. And I'll tell you something, I think our lives are made up of big moments. If we look at all of our lives, if we go back, for the last 15, 20, 30, 50, 70 years, depending on how old you are, you have moments in your life where you look back and go, man, that was incredible, right? For some, it might be the birth of your child, your marriage, right? Maybe your divorce, right? I don't know, but we had these big moments in our lives at some point. And I'll bet for some of you, it might have been times like, if you were ever in sports, right? Maybe you scored the winning touchdown or you were a part of the play, or you shot that basket and you hit it, or a wrestling match, you scored that point, whatever it was, we all have these moments in our lives that we'll probably cherish forever. And what was really cool is I feel like for those 800 people that were in that convention, many of them, maybe not all, but many of them, that was a moment I think that they'll never forget, and what we want to do is create incredible moments for people, not just go through business, make a bunch of money, great, wonderful. And I'm going to talk to you about making money, but having those special moments in life that we can cherish, look back at, and be really proud, that we were a part of something. And I'm going to talk to you right now, again, about our world and how we're shaking up the industry. So why partner with us? Number one, for the customer. Erick did a great job of showing you how we can impact people's lives with very simple tools that are available. They're just not accessible for most people out there. How about for you? Have fun, build a business, make more money, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Last I checked, it takes money to, do things in life, right? How many of y'all agree it takes money to do things, right? Like driving your car takes money. Living in a house takes money. Putting your kids through college or university takes money, right? A lot of things that we want to do and achieve in our lives take money. And I'm not here to say that money's everything, but I will say that it is important. It's very important. It's a tool. And the tool being put in the right hands of the right people is extremely beneficial, not only for themselves and their family, but also for others. And then last but not least, guys, an opportunity to change the world. I love quoting Conor McGregor. I'm a big UFC fan. And he said when he won this one fight, I remember this, and Joe Rogan puts the mic up to him, and all the guys from Ireland were there in the crowd. It was in Las Vegas. And he goes, "We didn't come to take part. We came to take over." And guys, as I think about the incredible United States market, my dad lives in the US, by the way, actually helped us get set up and licensed there as a requirement because we had to have a citizen there. I love the United States of America. And especially with this global pandemic, I love the United States of America even more than I ever have before. And we're not coming to take part, we're coming to take over. And what I mean by take over is take over the market share in this industry, because I've seen time and time again where agents are treated like little minions. They're treated like little minions on a crusade to go out and help these big entities become successful. Well, see, my wife and I didn't design Experior for the shareholders and the investors and everything else, because we don't have investors. And yes, we do have shareholders. You're looking at one of them, but if you look over there at Myron Weeks, he's one of them as well. You look at Neela Manon over there, she's one of them as well. And any of the executive directors on this call, I can't see them all, there's a bunch of them on here, they're all shareholders. We actually give share, Andrea Rogers, I see is here. All of our executive directors are shareholders of this company. And see, what I believe is when you work a job, and if you're on an early morning shift and you're the first one to put the key in the door and you open the door and pull the door open, you're just there to do your job. If you own that job, if you own that business, I should say, and you put your key in the door and pull it open, there's just a different feel to it. And we want everyone to know what it's like to be an owner in our company. And that's what I'm going to share with you in a minute. And I'm going to share some examples of how this has happened for people very fast. Why else partner with us? You can interact and learn from other top professionals in the company. You can build teams across the United States and Canada, which I'll talk about that in a minute. Host and participate in daily webinars or webinars multiple times a week. You know, I run a training myself at least 3 or 4 times a week, and then we've got other executive directors running them all the time. There's no shortage of knowledge that you can gain going through our training. Also, our back office, the financial analysis, quoting tools, CRM, Telegram, branding, marketing. We got all this stuff down to help you out. And then the question people ask is, can I do this? Well, first of all, you can start part-time. Many of our agents don't start part-time. I'll give you an example. Myron Weeks, executive director with Experior, he went right away, jumped in full-time. Jor David started part-time and then went full-time. Neela Manon went full-time day one. Erick Mendoza started part-time, transitioning to full-time. So we have every different walk of life, but we don't force people one way or the other. It's whatever's comfortable for you. So you can start part-time and learn as you grow. Again, there's no experience necessary. You just have to pass a test, which is multiple choice, right? Haven't picked D in a while. But that's pretty much what it takes is you got to write an exam. There's an online course. Majority of people pass it their first try. And if you don't, hey, if you're like, I had one guy, it took him 5 times to pass. Guess what? He passed it, right? It's not something that you have to give up on. It's something you can work towards, and we help you with that. Next is nonstop webinar trainings, as I mentioned, personal and business development, online licensing course. You can do everything from home, a 24/7 video library, and again, hands-on training to really help you get knowledgeable in the business. The next question I'd like to answer is, can I make money? As a part-time agent, to go out and make $2,000 a month is realistic, okay? And I'm not saying like one guy in a mountain in Timbuktu does it. This is realistic. You go out and help 2 families a month, on average, you'll make a couple grand just on insurance. And it could be more, right? We had a guy, Raza. Raza just joined us from Texas. I think he's in Houston, Texas. And Raza just did $24,000 in premium. That's the equivalent of 24 clients this month. He's going to make about $24,000 this month. And he just joined us like 2 months ago, right? So this is how it works. You make an average of $800 to $1,000 per customer. Sometimes it could be more, sometimes it could be less, but this is average. The great news though, for those that are brand new looking at this for the first time, a trainer's with you every step of the way, so you can actually earn while you learn. You don't need to know everything to start earning an income here, and you can go at your own pace. If you want to wait 6 months to make money, or 6 years to make money, or 6 days to make money, you get to decide, because you get to go at your pace. Next is full-time. Full-timers, go out there and help 2 families on a weekly basis on your own pen, helping clients. You can make about a 6-figure income. Now, the cool part is you also have the ability, right from day one, you can actually start building a team which can generate something called an override income. And that's a percentage of the corporate profit that we pay to you for introducing someone to the organization. And over time, you would be responsible for training. If you're not in a position to train right now, they plug into our online or into the executive director agency that you're a part of. And you also own your book of business from day one. So if anyone feels like, oh, the wool was pulled over my eyes, they left that out, hey, guess what? Take your business and go. We don't own your business. You own it. We don't want to own your business. You built those relationships with the people that you offer the services to. You continue to own those relationships, not us. And last but not least is agency ownership, where you can actually develop other agencies and teams of advisors and continue to benefit from that for the rest of your life. And the cool part about this is you earn agency overrides. So someone can work at the same position that you're in, and we, Experior, will continue to pay you for developing that independent executive director, or as we call it, an agency owner. You can also build across US and Canada, whether you have any sort of citizenship in Canada, as long as you are a citizen of one of the countries, you can build across both countries. And also you have ownership of your agency, which I'm going to talk to you about that right now. Actually, after this slide. So we also have a lead program. Some people say, well, is this one of those things where I have to talk to my friends and family? No, definitely not. I encourage people to, if they want to help them, because most people want to help their friends and family. If they're in a bad situation, why not? But we actually have leads available for purchase as well. Again, it's optional. This is cool though. We only introduced this a month ago. All our growth has happened without leads. Now it's just an added benefit that we have those lead programs available. Now, when it comes to the legacy ownership, I'm going to tell you what this is. We want to give every agent the opportunity to build an agency and continue to receive an income on death, disability, or retirement. We also want to offer shares to every single executive director. Someone that goes out and builds a business, you're going to get shares in the company. And therefore, you can also celebrate in the company's overall success, not just the success of your team. How do you do that? Well, to become a legacy owner and earn those shares, you need to become an agency owner. An agency owner is someone that goes out and finds 8 people that want to make some extra income or that want to make a full-time career change, helping 25 customers in a month for 2 months in a row on average. Okay, that's 50 total customers over a 60-day period. You will become an executive director and you will have legacy ownership. The legacy ownership works like this. If God forbid you die tomorrow and you just became an executive director with us with 8 licensed agents and helping 25 customers collectively between you and your team, your family will continue to receive 75% of all of the overrides, which, by the way, a team that size would be around $100,000 a year for the next decade. You've just built an asset valued at close to or around $1 million in your business by going out and building a business like that. That does not exist in any IMO in the entire industry today, in the thousands that there are across North America. On top of that, you also become a shareholder. You become an agency owner. You earn stock in the company. You get shares of 2,000, which we issue them once per year in January of each year. We look at all the executive director promotions, all the documents signed, everything through the lawyer. You get your shares certificate. You now own a piece of this organization. And then last but not least is if you continue to grow by promoting others to become agency owners, not only do we pay you a boatload of money, you also have an additional share program and an infinite legacy program where we will pay you a percentage of everything that you've built here infinitely. So if you die, it can go to your children. And Myron, one day your children are going to grow up and they're going to have children. It's going to go to your grandbabies and their grandbabies. You understand? This is something that can pay out for the rest of your life. Now, this is what's cool. I want to share with you a couple of examples. This couple here, Vinod Nair and Hema Vinod, this couple joined Experior and got their first paycheck with us in December of 2020. They went full-time from day one. Husband and wife team, both full-time from day one. And guess what? In April of this year, became shareholders of Experior and agency owners, therefore qualifying for the legacy program. Here's another cool example. This individual here, he's 73 years young. This guy joined Experior and had his first paycheck in January of 2021. He was full-time from day one. He became a shareholder and had agency ownership by April 2021. 73 years old. By the way, this individual was with another company for 2 years before he joined Experior in the financial industry. Erick, you'll know the company quite well. He could only find one person to join him in 2 years. Now he's got a team of over 10 licensed agents, became a shareholder, boom, built incredible business in just a few months. Now, this guy here, I love this guy, man. This guy's too smart for his own good. He talked to me one time. He's like, Jamie, I want to develop this program, internet lead, this and that. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about, but you can join us. This guy joined us. This guy's from Alberta, Canada. And man, he's got the cowboy in him to prove it. But I'll tell you something about Derek. Derek, he got his first Experior paycheck in July of 2019 and started part-time. He went full-time actually on Valentine's Day. He just crossed over 100,000 of annual income in June 2021. Imagine that, full-time February, made sure he was making money, made sure it worked. The guy was making a good income before he joined us. So he started part-time, worked his way up, and then boom, went full-time. And then we just congratulated him. He became a six-figure ring earner. Anyone that makes 100,000 a year with Experior, they get this beautiful Super Bowl ring, which is really cool. And then this is another cool story. This guy, Adiola Abiodun, Adiola joined us. He got his first Experior paycheck in February 2019. He had experience in the industry before, never achieved this kind of success before though. He went full-time from day one, crossed over 300,000 in annual income in June of 2021. Actually, just this Monday, or this Tuesday pay cycle, he just crossed over $300,000 of annual income. I believe this guy will probably make about a $500 to $600,000 this year. His business is on an absolute tear. He's only been with us for 2.5 years this month, got his first check 2 years and 4 months ago with us because getting the license transferred over and set up. And the guy's got 146 licensed agents in his organization, and it's just exploding right now. And I'm sharing these with you because this is happening to us. You'll notice these last two were both in June. The other ones were in April. I could pull up slides every week. I'm going to change these slides because every single freaking week we have someone else making 100 grand, someone else becoming an agency owner, someone else. We got a 73-year-old, then we got a 22-year-old, then we got a 30-year-old, then we got a single mom, then we got a couple in business, then we got a guy that's widowed, and it's like story after story after story of people that are doing it. And I want to share this with you because sometimes we might sit there and go, well, I don't know, maybe I'm too old, maybe I don't know, whatever it is, whatever excuse we make that we think we can't do this. Guys, I'm here to tell you, anybody that has a why big enough, something that you want to accomplish in your life, can do this. Anybody can do this. It takes hard work, takes discipline. You got to grow. You got to work on yourself. This guy, Adiola, he is a much better leader today than he was 2 years ago, than he was 1 year ago. This guy has grown and grown and grown and become an incredible leader of men and women. That's how you do it here. It's the personal business development. I believe that money attracts to those people that are attracted for it to come to their lives. The more attractive you become, the more people are attracted to you, right? And I'm not talking from a physical standpoint. I'm talking about what's inside of you, right? What are you here for? What do you care about? What's important to you, right? And this stuff just excites me. You imagine, Myron, I get a text message on Tuesday morning from Adiola saying, hey, brother. And I say it in the way he's, hey, brother, I think I just passed 300,000 annual income. Can you check? Right? This is what he says. I'm like, no, bro, man, you nailed it. Woo! The next day, Wednesday morning, I got Mario Franchella. I didn't even throw Mario up. Mario, by the way, Mario went through so many personal challenges last year. Wasn't sure if he was even going to stay in the business world. Got through some of his challenges. Guess what? 4 months went to work, just crossed over $100,000 in income. He said it was one of the most proud moments of his life when I gave him a call and said, yo, bro, you did it. It's official. 100,000 income. That's just this week, Myron. Guys, people are winning over here. People are doing some great things with their lives. I'm so excited about this. Man, what a business. But how about you? How about start by earning a couple $1,000 a month? What would that do for you? Maybe pay off some debt. Maybe buy a home. Maybe pay for your kids' education or eat out some nights. My wife and I, man, when we were dating and became engaged and everything, about 11 years ago, we got married. Actually, it'll be 11 years this August, we got married. But I'll tell you something, my wife and I would go out for dinner and I'd open up the menu and I'd be watching my wife, right? My fiance at the time, and she'd be looking at the left side of the menu at what she wanted to eat. I'm like, what's she doing? That's not where you're supposed to look. Because I was always used to looking at the right side of the menu where the dollars are, right? I'm like, aren't you gonna check how much that costs? I'm paying for this, right? I didn't say that to her, but I thought it, man. I thought it. Maybe just eat out some nights and not stress about it. Or how about this? We go out with the kids and stuff. My wife and I are a blended family. We have, I have 2 from my previous marriage. My wife has 1 from hers. And then we have our baby, Takia. She's 9, or just turned 10 actually, together. But, we go out with the kids. We have my kids on the weekends, and we go out, and the waiter or waitress would come around and, can I get you guys something to drink? I'd be like, water for everyone. Water, water, water. The dad, I want a chocolate. Shh, water. Right? What about just not stressing about that stuff, guys? That's where we were. We knew what it was like to stress. What about just taking that little bit of an edge off? Now, I understand maybe buying a $3 pop or chocolate milk doesn't make financial sense, but it's all about relativity. It's all relative, I should say, to where we are at in life. What about just not having that stress? How about taking a vacation and not putting it on a credit card? A lot of people have to put it on a credit card, then they pay off that vacation for the next 15 years because, they continue to put money on the credit card, pay some off, money on the credit card. Oh, honey, how much room do we have on the card this week? Oh, I got to pay it down a bit before you get gas or groceries. Guys, this is crazy, the world that we're living in today, but this is where so many families are. This is where I was, so I understand what it's like. Helping family or friends. What about doing some great things for your family or friends? One of my biggest dreams that ever happened for me and my best friend, Daryl, he's like been my brother since grade 3. He's my best friend in the whole world. I want to recruit him to the business so bad. He just doesn't want to do it. I'm like, bro, come on, frick. He'd actually be good at it too. He's just lazy as hell. But anyway, no, I love him. But he is lazy though, I'll tell you. But my boy Daryl, when the Raptors were playing the final game they had in Toronto, when they were playing the Golden State Warriors, I took my boy down to the final game 5, which they ended up losing by like 2 points. But it was such an experience, at the NBA finals to be able to bring my boy. My boy could never afford to do something like that on his own. That's one of the highlights of his and my life together. I've known this boy for 34 years. I've known this guy. 34 years. One of the highlights of our life was because I finally got out of my comfort zone, started building a business, make some money, and I can do some cool things. By the way, that won't be the first time. I'm excited the next time we're going to get courtside seats to one of these games. But give it maybe an important charity, right? Maybe buy a new car, right? Something that's important. I remember the car I drove, it fell apart on the way to a meeting that I was the main speaker at. I was so embarrassed, right? My old company. I was like being put up on a pedestal, and I could barely afford my own gas to get to the meetings and stuff. But guys, this is something I know to be true. Most people, not everyone, but most people would live a significantly better life with just an extra $1,000 a month. Just an extra $1,000 a month. And you look at our business, you help one family set up an insurance plan, you make an extra $1,000 a month. And most Americans are underinsured right now. Most Americans are looking for insurance, don't even realize it until they have the conversation. They go, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I never thought of that. Oh, it's that cheap. I didn't realize it was that inexpensive. A lot of people don't equate life insurance to being as an affordable product, right? It's a very affordable product for most people. And then we do a lot of awards and recognition. As I mentioned, you had Vanilla Ice at our last conference. This is some of the recognition we were doing, some of our speakers. We have just incredible leaders. I can't tell you enough how cool it is. This guy was doing like flips and somersaults on the thing. We had a guy with no arms and no legs that presented, which was really cool. No arms. He had legs. Yeah, he had no arms, born with no arms. And he was actually playing the piano with his feet, right? Just showing people how to defy odds. A lot of times we look at our situation, oh, woe is me, life is so tough. And it's like, man, but tough compared to what? Tough compared to what? We live in 2 of the greatest countries in the world, Canada and the United States. We might not agree with the politicians all the time and the way things are going, this and that. But at the end of the day, guys, we do live in free countries. We're so blessed to have these opportunities that we can take advantage of. And this is the free enterprise system that we're a part of, right? There is no limitation on what we can do. There's no limitation on the amount of money that you can make in these 2 wonderful countries of ours. This isn't a socialist economy that we're a part of, right? We're in a country where you can go out and create as much wealth as you want. And I think that's amazing because to whom much is given, much is required. And we can do so much for others by going out there and creating abundance in our lives. And we just have a system to show people legitimately how to do it. Not some hocus pocus, hey, try these milkshakes. It's going to make all your fat go away and then recruit 3 that get 3 that get 3 and you'll be a billionaire. Not that stuff, man. And listen, I'm not knocking some of the multi-level deals out there. We have one facet of that. I'm not going to hide from it. You can recruit people here. You can build a big team here. It's not hocus pocus. It's compensation from largest institutions in the world, the insurance companies. Guys, this is a very lucrative industry. I always tell people there's a lot of money in money, and we're in the money business, right? It's a very lucrative industry to be a part of, with or without building a team. That small Asian guy you saw there on the stage that I said was doing like somersaults and stuff on the stage, that guy made $400,000 with us. $400,000 in a single year. And guess what? Only recruited one person. He doesn't know how to recruit anyone. Sure knows how to sell, makes a bunch of money selling. Guys, people can do it all kinds of ways. I love showing people the way that I like the best, which is build an agency, build a business, recruit, develop, train a team of people, maybe attract a few competitors over here, right, Eric? We attracted you. You were a competitor at one point, right? You didn't know we were a competitor until we met you. And then I'll go, wait, you guys are competitors. I'm like, yeah, we're better. Come over here, right? You never know who you're going to run into, right? So at the end of the day, here's how we get started, or here's how you get started if you decide to move forward. The associate ownership agreement, it's $150 one-time registration. This actually helps offset some of your costs to get licensed. The average licensing course in the industry is about $210. Our cost, $70. So if you don't have a license, you'd also have to pay the $70 to take the course. Then once you're licensed, so this could be like a couple weeks down the road or a month, depending on how long you want to study for. It's really up to you. My dad that took the exam studied for 5 days. Now it was like 5 days full-time straight. He wrote the exam, passed it. The rest is history. But the errors and omissions insurance, our cost, it's almost $200 less than the competition out there. You can also do this monthly. So it'd be like 30 odd bucks a month. That's like liability insurance to make sure that if a client ever says, oh, well, Neela never told me that and this and that, well, it's liability coverage to protect you. Okay. And then the back office system, these aren't the costs here, but this is what I believe they are. I think our 24/7 library, our webinars are priceless. The analysis program that we have, quotes and tools, CRM system, you don't pay any of those costs. We've subsidized all those because we built a lot of this internally as an organization. Our cost for someone to start off with Experior for all of our tools and resources is $19 a month. Once you're licensed, it's $35 a month, and that manages your entire business for you. Okay. It goes as high as $79 a month. So if you're like Adiola in a few years or 5 years or 2 years, and you're making $300,000 a year, you're going to have to subtract $79 off of that income because that's his gross income. His expenses are $79 a month. Okay. I'm kind of being funny there. $79 a month to run a business, paying them $300,000 plus a year. I mean, it's incredible. So, but again, the starting costs when someone first because we have all these incredible partnerships in the US, SHS is in the Ukraine, the rest of these are American companies. This is how we're able to subsidize it. Upfront cost $150 to get started, and then $19 a month if you're not licensed, $35 a month if you are licensed already. Here's your options. Number one, I always suggest learn how our concepts and strategies could work in your own situation, right? Maybe clean up your own backyard, right? I always said mine was a mess. I need to fix my own finances first before I started telling everyone else what to do, right? Number two, start our part-time training program. Gain an in-depth financial knowledge and ultimately grow a business income to match your goals and dreams, rather than what most of us unfortunately have had to do over our lives is shrink our goals and dreams to match our income. Isn't it time we change that? I don't know if this business is for you or not. I think anyone can do it within reason. If you got your wits about you, right? If you're level-headed, if you're halfway smart, right? I'm not saying all the way smart. I'm saying like I was a D student, average through high school. I have no post-secondary education. I'm telling you, I'm not a dummy, but I certainly ain't no scholar. Anyone can do this. My wife just walked in the room and she's nodding her head going, yep, that's right. I'm like, get out of here. I'm like, I ain't no scholar. She's like, yep, that's right.
I'm mouthing your words.
Oh, she's mouthing my words. Never mind. She was trying to throw me off. Well, you threw me off. Mission accomplished. Get out of here. This is the problem with working from home, right? No, we both. Yeah, let me tell you something, guys. My suggestion is do both. I'm going to encourage you to do something tonight. You're not taking a chance on Experior. Okay. I want to make that clear. You're not taking a chance on Experior by getting involved with us. This works. You know, this works. People make it work. It works. What I'm asking you to do tonight is talk to the person that invited you here. They obviously saw something in you, saw something that maybe you'd see the same potential that they saw. What I'm asking you to do tonight is take a chance on yourself. See if you can do it. I believe you can. It's going to take hard work. It is not easy. I promise you it's not easy. When I showed you Adiola, right, that bald-headed brother there, when I show you Adiola making $300,000 a year, do you think he made that part-time? Heck no. That son of a gun is one of the hardest working people I know. But now he's built a business that if he wanted to, he could take the rest of his life off. 146 licensed agents. The guy's got 7 executive director agencies in his business in less than 2.5 years. Less than 2.5 years from his first paycheck. 2.5 years from the day he signed his contract with us. I know if Adiola can do it, someone else can do it. By the way, he's not our biggest success story. He's just one of them. We got bigger success stories than Adiola. I'm just sharing you some that are more realistic. So guys, I'll tell you something. Take a chance on yourself if you have the slightest interest. And if you don't have any interest, I want to thank you just the same for being a part of this tonight. We're not the only opportunity out there. I know there's lots of great things that you can do with your life. I'm just going to encourage you that if it's not this, make sure you find what it is, because you're going to spend 1/3 of your waking life doing something to generate money for you and your family. You might as well like it. You might as well enjoy it. And I think you'd have a lot of fun with us. But again, to each their own. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time tonight. And for my Canadian friends, we'll see you on the next webinar in 34 minutes. Take care, everyone.
Looking forward
Bye.
to it. Great job. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Jamie. Awesome job, guys.
Awesome job, Eric, man. I
Thanks, Eric.
appreciate you. brother.
Awesome.